before this video starts that I made on behalf of Lee Davis Jr., I did make this video for educational and awareness purposes because I am an activist and advocate for victims of any and all forms of abuse. I also have personal experience being a victim of the family court system, which is corrupt CPS and foster care system. I'm a former foster care child out of Florida, state of Florida, that aged out of the system. I'm also a victim of post-separation abuse and parental alienation. My children are victims of parental alienation and child abuse by not only their birth father, which is my abuser, post-separation abuse abuser, and ex-domestic violence abuser. So I'm a survivor of domestic violence, but current victim of post-separation abuse. But they're also being abused by the custodials who have current custody of my children. Now, my story really doesn't have anything to do with Lee or his daughter and what happened necessarily. It's not connected in any way. I'm just saying my experience as far as why I'm making this video, and just to know I know what I'm talking about is basically what I'm trying to say. Now, for anybody who, if anybody, whoever, whatever, watches this video, okay, whether it be anybody who knows him personally, or maybe his daughter's mother, or the mother's side, whatever, or friends, or not friends, or family, whatever, whoever, whatever, just to let you know that I have never met Lee in person in my life. We do live, I don't know if he even lives in Lynchburg, but I live in Lynchburg, Virginia. My case is out of Lynchburg, Virginia. Like, my personal custody case and stuff is out of Lynchburg. I don't know. I'm assuming his case is out of Lynchburg too. But I know he lives in the area. Okay. But I have never met him in person. Okay. We've only spoken online, whether it be like, he's made posts or whatever. And I commented or replied or whatever. That's the only communication that we've ever had. And in this recent events, which it'll explain in the video soon, here, just a minute, keep watching. Our communication, as far as, because I mentioned in the video, that, I've been talking to him online on Facebook, was basically through his posts that he made on his Facebook page. So I was commenting, replying, stuff like that. And then the day that he turned himself in, he did message me, in Facebook Messenger to say, hey, I'm turning myself in, or I'm about to turn myself in, and he thanked me for the support and stuff like that. So that's the only extent of communication I've had with him. But yeah, as far as anything else goes, I've never met him. I've never met his daughter. And please, and I am not speaking against the mother of the child. I'm just making that clear. Okay, I'm not making any accusations or anything. I'm just making the point that, one, it's, even though he did break the law, even though he went against the custody order, sure, yes, it's wrong, okay? However, that's how messed up our system is. That is one of the problems with the system is they don't take child abuse seriously, okay? And if you don't know what I'm talking about right now, just keep watching the video. It'll explain everything, okay? But when a child reports abuse, you need to take that seriously. And people don't take it seriously. And then guess what? The ultimate, God forbid, thing that happens is they die, I'm not saying anything's going to happen to this child. I don't even know if anything has happened to his child, okay? But there was a report made by her. And children do not lie about abuse, okay? They don't do it just to get attention. They don't do it just to lie or, make stuff up, okay? These are children. They're, and especially with her age, they're, like, brutally honest, okay? Even if they don't understand it. But regardless, I'm just saying, like, if Lee's daughter's mother watches this, hey, I'm not making any allegations. I'm not speaking against the mother or anything. But I will say, okay, and this goes for anybody, and everything in this video, whether the examples I've added, like the tidbit videos, you'll see what I'm talking about. This can go both ways. This can be the mother or the father, or the father or the mother. Whatever. It can go both ways. But when it comes down to it, what people, and this is for everyone, need to understand, when you co-parent or have a child together, okay, do never, unless the parent is abusing the child, okay, if the parent is a loving parent, if the parent loves that child and is protective over that child, it does not matter what crap has gone on between you two. It does not matter. That is irrelevant. Okay, it's okay to be angry and upset about it, but don't ever keep a child from a loving, protective parent just because you got beef with that parent. I'm not going to say get over it, but it's irrelevant to that child. That child needs both mother and father. So unless a parent is directly abusing that child, never, ever, ever keep that child from that parent. It is abusive. It is called parental alienation, and it is straight up abuse. And in the DSM-5, okay, it is one of the most severe forms of child abuse that there is out there, period. Parental alienation is child abuse, and it's one of the most severe forms of child abuse at that. Okay? Now, like I said, I'm not making accusations or anything. This is for awareness and education, but I don't think it's right, and that this is just how the system is. It's supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. Well, they treat you like you're guilty until proven innocent. And that's how people treat things too. Just because you get arrested or get charges or a mugshot, people want to automatically assume you're a criminal. Okay, when even if the case gets dismissed or you're found not guilty. I've been there. Okay, I got mugshots. If you want to look me up, go ahead. I've been convicted of stuff before that I was simply trying to defend and protect myself, and I got convicted as if I'm a bad guy or a criminal. This is what victims go through. It's bullshit. But, that's how the system is. It's messed up. It's corrupt. But it's not right that he's trying to protect his child. You'll see what I'm talking. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the video. He's trying to protect his child, so that's why he did what he did. And it sucks that he has to go to jail and he has to sit there until either he's bonded out or bailed out or until his court hearing or whatever. So here, I don't even know if he has a job, whether or not, let's say he does have a job, let's say he has bills or stuff to do. All that crap is on hold now because he's sitting in a jail cell just because he was trying to protect his kid. Now, is that right? No, it's not. It's messed up. It really is, And, there are parents out there, just recently in the news, there are parents out there that kidnap their kids or withhold the children or don't bring them back when they're supposed to, and then they end up harming or killing the child. It just happened in the news. The father with the 3 little girls, and they're still looking for him. They don't know where he's at. I'm assuming he committed suicide. That's my opinion. That's my belief. Because that is usually what happens. It's statistical. Okay? That's not the case with Lee, though. Okay? He was legitimately, legit and honestly and genuinely trying to protect his child. So, whatever the case may be, he is not a danger or a threat to his child at all. Okay? He was just simply trying to protect his child, and that's it. And that's why he did what he did. He could have went about it a different way. That's what I said. I was communicating with him online, trying to talk sense into him and advising him. You could have went a different route and did it a different way because you're going to get in trouble. And see, now, his whatever is left of his parental rights and visitation rights is probably going to get stripped away, or it's being threatened that he's probably going to get terminated parental rights. Now, if the baby, maybe his daughter's mother watches this, please, I don't know if you're pressing charges, and she may have dropped the charges, but the DA probably picked it up and is continuing it, because that's what they do. Okay? Regardless, I would advocate for your child that she needs her father in her life, because I don't care what beef you got with him. If he loves her and is protective over her, you need to advocate for her to have her father in her life, regardless of what beef you have. I don't care. That's your child's father, period. What would you want if it was you? And this goes for anybody. What if it was your kid? What would you do? Would you try to protect them? Or you just let them, what if, like I said, I'm not making any allegations or accusations, but what if it was true or is true? And what if nobody bats an eye? Then what? The child continues to get abused, or it can get killed, or something happened to the child. We have to take care of our children and protect our kids, regardless, whether it's true or not. At least look into it and just try to protect them the best we can. But yeah, watch the video. And I know this whole video is long, but bear with me. Awareness and education is key. We gotta take the power back. We gotta take the power back.
them, I put my fist in them. Eurocentric, every last one of them. See right through the red, white, and blue disguise. Lecture a puncture the structure of life. Thrown in our minds and attempted to hold us back. We've got to take it back. Holes in the spirit causing tears and fears. One-sided stories for years and years and years. I'm inferior, who's inferior? Yeah, you need to check the interior of the system. Who cares about only one culture and that? So we gotta take the power back. We gotta take the power back. Come on.
My name is Anna Smith. I'm an advocate and an activist for several things, including domestic violence and child abuse, childhood trauma, foster care reform, CPS reform, family court reform, and parental alienation, and custody issues as well. This is on behalf of Lee Davis Jr. This can be or may be used for evidence. I'm going to send it to him. This is WSCT ABC 13 News out of Lynchburg, Virginia, the noon 12 o'clock news. This newscast, the whole point at the end, she says the child was not in danger. Keep that in mind. That's the key words. The child was not in danger. So Lee Davis may have technically withheld the child, which his purposes or intent was to protect his child. However, the child was never in danger. Pay attention.
We're following breaking news out of Campbell County this noon. A father accused of taking his daughter from her legal guardian amid an ongoing custody battle is now behind bars. The sheriff's office says Cal Davis Jr. is charged with abduction and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. He'd been on the run since Wednesday. Now, you may remember they found his 5-year-old daughter Peyton on Friday. She was reunited with family after an extensive search. Investigators say she was not in danger.
Not in danger. I've been speaking and talking with Lee online on Facebook, and I told him that he has my full support. I'm an advocate and activist, as I mentioned in the video earlier. So at least he knows somebody's on his side. And I know there's a lot of other parents out there who watches this, who networks with me and we're all in this together. So, he needs your support too. So I'm going to tag him in this post. So if you're in support, show him some support, even if he doesn't see it right now. He's in jail. But he messaged me this morning and told me that he's turning himself in now, which was at 9:30 a.m., which that newscast came on at noon. So he's probably in the detainment area, which is the booking area where you get booked and get your mugshot and everything. His father needs as much support as he can in this child as well. And nothing against the mother. She had every right to be worried. She had every right to be upset. And, the mother wasn't in fear for the child's life because the child was not in danger. That's why there was no Amber Alert. That was, people were like, why was there no Amber Alert posted? Because the child wasn't in danger. She was with her father because her father was trying to protect her. That's why there was no Amber Alert. So, yeah. But yeah, I'm not speaking against the mother either. So I'm not doing that. The kid needs both their parents. But somewhere in her environment is possible abuse, and he was trying to protect her from that. So, yeah. Anybody who, if you know, his father needs all the support he can get, and don't anybody who dare even comment who thinks he's guilty until proven innocent. No. If you don't know, keep your mouth shut, because you don't know. You don't understand. You don't understand what it's like. He's not a criminal for trying to protect his child. Now remember, this man is innocent until proven guilty. He has the right to due process. However, unfortunately, the system is going to treat him as if he's guilty until proven innocent. This is what usually happens. Also keep in mind, his intention, although he broke the law technically and went outside of the custody order, okay, sure, yeah, technically that's wrong to do. However, he was trying to protect his child because his child reported abuse to him and his father from the environment that she mainly solely lives in from her guardian. Her mother's side, I'm not saying it was her mother that abused her, but in her side of things, in her environment.
My stepdad told at my mom and my sister and
what?
threw the phone at my mom and my sister and me.
He threw the phone at y'all?
Yeah,
Why he threw the phone at y'all?
'cause it just
Why? Why he bringing you up there be all that mad then? Why your mama don't bring you up like she's supposed to?
need to hit me.
Oh, it hit you?
Yeah,
Where it hit you at?
on my back.
Did it leave a mark? We gonna see when we get up here.
And I popped my back.
You pop your back? What you mean you pop your back? Huh? What you mean you pop your back, baby? She gonna look at my booger. So, what you telling me? Hey, shut up right now. Shut up right now. We not worried about that. We worried about what the child. She said you threw the phone in that. And they hit her. We want to see her back. Because you can file charges. That's assault. He's assaulted your child. Yeah.
Why did you call to come up here?
Cause I ride with Papa.
What time now?
Look at her back sitting back here in the corner. Why I got those things still on. You thirsty? I'm broke. How about get you something? You want a soda, baby?
Yeah,
Grape soda
or chocolate milk.
or chocolate milk? He be throwing stuff hitting you all the time. He be throwing stuff at your mama all the time. He don't. So why he throw the phone today?
Does he get angry?
What was he angry about?
I don't know.
So he was trying to protect his child. And basically, we see it all the time all over the news. The children, judges, the law places these children back in the hands of their abusers and to these abusive environments, and then the child ends up dead.
Sacramento County man charged in connection with his daughter's death has died.
A mother in custody after her 3-year-old is killed in a crash.
Tonight, a woman is in custody after her toddler died from fentanyl.
NYPD detectives now questioning the father of a 4-year-old boy who was deprived of food for so long he died.
The caller indicated that she was concerned that her family member may have harmed her 3 small children.
With everything that was going on around me, I had just found out my daughter died.
Boyfriend and the father of her youngest son stabbed her and her 2 eldest boys, kidnapped them, and left her behind.
2 Richland County parents have now been charged in connection to the death of their 7-month-old daughter.
More serious questions tonight about Arizona's foster care system and new allegations that it's failing to protect children.
Yeah, the ABC 15 investigators have learned a 15-year-old boy recently died.
She was under supervised visitations, where she would take photos like this one. And even though Medrano knew something was wrong, she didn't know that eventually one of those visitations would be the last time she ever saw her youngest child alive. Cassandra Medrano says she was trying to escape an abusive marriage when her ex called California CPS on her, and the state ended up giving him the kids.
Father of 4 now arrested and charged with killing 2 of his children.
You get married, 2 adults, you get married, you have kids, and now you decide to divorce. From the court's perspective, from my perspective, I'm looking at what is best for the kids in this scenario. Right? You're adults. What's best for the kids in this scenario? And I think that we have study after study after study to demonstrate that if you do have a loving father, not a perfect father, but a loving father, it is absolutely critical that they be involved in their children's lives, and the court needs to take that into account on day one. The father shouldn't have to prove that. That should be an assumption, and then it should have to be proven that they're not fit. And I think in a lot of scenarios, that's not what we see.
Family court doesn't protect children. It protects the image of being fair. It doesn't want to believe your ex is abusive. It doesn't want to take sides. It wants both parents involved, even if one of them is using the system to manipulate, control, and destroy. They'll call it high conflict. They'll tell you to co-parent. They'll punish you for speaking up and reward your ex for staying calm while doing the damage behind the scenes. They're not protecting your child. They're protecting their process. And that's why you have to come prepared, because the truth alone, it isn't enough.
News 12 is continuing our coverage on growing calls for family court reform tonight and sharing an alarming statistic that 20 children have been killed by a parent in the past 5 years during custody disputes in New York State. News 12's Blaise Gomez is speaking to advocates and lawmakers who say the system is failing the families it was designed to protect.
The next story we talk about is, it's bad. It's really bad. But it goes, I believe, beyond just those directly responsible. I think there's potentially more responsibility and the responsibility of our system, because we need to protect children. Somehow, some way, the system needs to protect children that are not being protected by those who should be doing it. We have more details tonight from Rachel Wilkerson with Scripps News, Indianapolis.
If the parents aren't going to love and protect them, and the state's not, who's going to protect them?
Traumatized, right? Terrific. Words can't describe the feelings. Feel guilty to eat sometimes.
We just don't want her death to be in vain. We want change. We don't want any more kids to have to die because of the failure of the system. It's not right. She was in our home, and she was safe, and she was loved. And she was handed back to her abuser, and she's not here anymore.
Prioritizing parental visitation, even in cases where abuse is present, put kids at risk. Kids become pawns in a divorce tug-of-war. Every year, 58,000 children sent pursuant to a custody order or for unprotected visitation end up with abusers. In fact, nearly half of custody evaluators still recommend unsupervised visits despite reports of family violence. In 2020, more than 588,000 kids were victims of abuse or neglect. In 2019, more than 672,000 kids spent time in foster care in the U.S., and statistics suggest that about 1/3 of the children placed in foster care are abused. All of this is evidence that the system meant to protect our kids is broken.
We're talking about something that could affect half of America. That means you. Hundreds of thousands of children are winding up at the hands of their abusers, and family courts are missing this.
There are a lot of judges who've never practiced family law who take the bench.
You need expert eyes on these children. A judge is not a doctor.
The judges listen?
Not a lot of the time they don't.
Why?
They don't want to believe it, and they want to give that parent another chance, but that one chance is when that kid could die.
I'm not saying this child is going to end up dead. I hope not. But this is why this happens. If anybody's seen my video, even though it was directed mostly for domestic violence, this happens to with children. This is how we die.
And I tried to explain to him about domestic violence, and nobody believes you. Nobody wants to listen. Nobody wants to freaking help or advocate. Perfect example. So I told him, I said, you know what? I've been documenting all this, and when he comes after me, and when I die, I said, thanks for the help. I'm so sick of this. I have no help. I have no representation. I don't have anything. This is bullshit. This fucking court system is going down. I've had it. It's not right. This is how we die.
Because the system, the law, they don't protect us. They don't protect us. They never protect us until we're dead.
We tell our clients frequently, if you call, they're going to say it's a civil matter and they're not going to get involved.
Law enforcement do not get involved. Even if it rises to a criminal level, they do not get involved. And in many times, they are also discouraged by their superiors from getting involved.
A&D Court Relations in Lynchburg, Virginia, Judge H. Carey Payne. You made a huge mistake, dude. You believed people who lied to you under oath. Under oath, man. Oath. You're supposed to lie under oath. You failed to protect my kids, Rosie and Teddy Muller. They are being abused because of your poor decisions. And you and your court-ordered goonies did nothing. You and your court-ordered goonies did nothing. Shame. Bring my kids home now. So, he was just trying to protect his child is all he was doing. So, is he wrong? No, he's not. No, he's not. But this is the problem with the law. This is the problem with the system. Okay? You know, he's an alienated parent. You know, the system pieces away at your parental rights. And then when the child reports abuse or there is suspected abuse in the home and the parent tries to protect their child, oh, and then they go to jail for it. They have to be arrested for it. They get a record and get convicted of all kinds of charges and all, you know, and they look like this bad, unfit parent. And if not, their entire parental rights get terminated for trying to protect their child. The child was never in danger. The child was being protected, trying to be at least. So if anything does happen to this child, he was just trying to protect his daughter. That's all he was doing. So, keep that in mind. His name's Lee Davis Jr. Yeah.